You know?
I've always been drawn to combat. Like it's my nature. Talking about nature, I guess. So all the video games I played, I didn't like the car ones. Like whatever. I was like combat was always my favorite thing, right?
Yeah.
I remember when I was playing that Street Fighter 2, since we're talking about video games.
Yeah.
Man, I would get so angry over every time I remember, like, I think I've probably broken like 3-4 remote controls at least. I never broke the actual console because that was like way too expensive, and I knew I wasn't getting a new one. But a remote control, I can afford a new one, right? So, but I was that kid. I just hated losing, man. But I remember just being obsessed with that game. You know, like it was just something that was, even like when I was the games I played as a kid, it was everything had to do with G.I. Joes and He-Man.
Well, yeah, I think it's just a lot of the cartoons, at least when we're growing up in the '80s, you know, they're all like violence based. I think I think if you look at most cartoons, or you think there's always some element of violence in it, because, like you said, it's a very human part of nature, and it's also a very interesting part. You put up if you know, suddenly right now, me and Robert talking, and then we see two little people here start fighting. Nobody's gonna listen to what me and you are saying. They'll be, whoa, what's up? Those people fighting.
We would stop talking.
Yeah,
no matter how good the conversation.
We'll start commentating. Like, hey, what's going on?
Exactly.
Like a fight always draws people's attention. You know, like it's just something.
I think that there are some dark features of human nature. There's no doubt. The reason I like history so much. People think that psychology is a window into human mind. I don't believe that. I don't think psychology is a window. I think the greatest window we have is history. Because in history, it tells you what we're capable of. Mm-hmm. History tells the true story of us, right? And there is definitely, there is an inclination that perhaps boys have, perhaps testosterone, the fault of testosterone makes you more aggressive.
Sure.
But this is why martial arts are so important, because if that is indeed the case, right? Some people, that's not the case, we're not violent, it's all culture. I'm like, look at our history. You know, the beauty of martial arts is that it is a way of channeling that aggression in a very positive way. I'm not a violent person. Right. Anyone who knows me, if anything, I'm almost like, people talk shit to me, I'm like, I should probably do something. I know I should be angry now, but I'm not. Like, people offend me. Yeah. I remember being like, people get in arguments with people, they offend me, and I'm like, I probably should be upset, but I just don't get upset. You know, I just don't have that, because I guess my aggression is left on the mats.
Yeah.
You know, and it's always in a very positive way, because I can go to war with you and it's never personal.
Right.
And even if you pop my arm, I know you didn't do it on purpose.
It wasn't malicious.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, it's never, but there is a lot of aggression on the mats, because we can go to war.
Yeah.
Like, in the sense where I'm actually trying to take you down as hard as I can, to the point where I am exhausted. And if I stop trying to take you down or sweep you, it's because I have nothing left, you know? But no one actually got hurt. There's no hate. That's when people say that MMA is violent. MMA is not violent. Violence involves hate. You see?
Yeah.
MMA is an extreme sport. It is an intense sport.
Yeah.
Like motocross is an extreme sport. It's intense. Far more injuries in football and motocross than in MMA. Yeah, deadly ones at that. You know, maybe not the case of NFL so much, but in motocross for sure, like car racing, all that.
That's even the worst sport?
Yeah.
Cheerleading.
A lot of injuries?
Tons of injuries. Yeah, because apparently all those flips, they do a lot of aerobatics. Someone falls.
Let's call cheerleading violent. Then does that fly? That doesn't fly, does it?
Yeah.
So fighting is not violent in the sense where there's no hate involved. Even if there's a lot of trash talking, it's just for ticket sales. There's no real hate.
Yeah.
The truth is, they respect each other. Proof of the fact that they respect each other is that they're training really hard to beat one another.
Correct.
And that's evidence, compelling evidence, that they actually do respect each other. But I don't think MMA or BJJ or martial arts in general are violent in that sense. I think that they're very intense sports. Violence to me involves anger, like deep-seated anger, hate, like, you know.
Yeah,
or at least some social issues, you know.
I get what you mean. Yeah, it's just a different interpretation. But I agree. I think most people, when they say, like they used to say, fighting MMA is human cockfighting or whatever. It's trying to draw that association where it's just violence for violence sake, right? It's just, we want to see blood and guts. Like, no, that's not what fighting is about.
Those comments, they exclusively come from people that have no understanding what's going on. You know what the funny thing is about fighting? Is that it is one of the few... I mean, there's some things that I think we should all have an opinion on. Like, politics, to me, is something that if you're mentally sane, right? If you're not a child, if you're a mentally healthy adult, you should have an opinion on politics.
For sure.
Because the world you live in depends on that, right? But when it comes to things like quantum physics, I don't open my mouth. You know why? Because I don't understand it.
Yeah.
When it comes to like, every now and then I'll be trying to read something that probably, it's beyond my comprehension. I am not trained to have an opinion on it. I don't understand it, right? And I kind of know, maybe sometimes I push that, but like for the most part, I think I know where I should and shouldn't comment, right? But when it comes to fighting, people are everyone's opinionated. Everyone seems to know what's going on. Like, this is too violent. This is not real. This is cream and cockfighting, or you should have done this, you should have done that. And my take on it, like, once you've been trained for a long time, you should probably not talk about. You can watch it and appreciate it, but you probably shouldn't have a strong opinion on it.
Yeah, it's a lot more. It's a lot deeper than your average person thinks it is, because everybody's probably been in a fight at some point physically with a sibling or whatnot, and then your basic grasp of that's like, oh, I understand what fight is about. Yeah, like, no, it's like saying I understand, physics or like quantum physics because I took a science class in elementary school.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, no, it's not the same thing. There's levels to the game, and you're like here, and MMA is like way up there, So,